And people always want to show you their bedrooms, you know, if they get to know you. And this is a talk on collectors that I've known.
I'm recording you. Show me the bedrooms there. This is your, what is this?
This is my miscellaneous book. Seminal spots I have visited. Important bedrooms I've visited. R.J. Reynolds, Thoreau, George Eastman, Louis XIV, Jefferson, Washington, Cropsey, Vanderbilt, Sir Walter Scott, Wordsworth, so forth. Okay? Moving right along, these are the collectors I've known. Beginning with Joseph Hirshhorn, who gave us 15,000 paintings for the Hirshhorn, Frank Horton at Mesda, Jonathan Winters, Richard Jenneret.
Oh my goodness.
Melanie Delholme. Okay, and not only did I list who they are, I listed their personality. I wrote about their personalities. Henry Francis DuPont, the DuPont Gunpowder Company.
Oh my goodness.
And then here we have collections that have works by Nicholas Bragg.
Oh my goodness.
As of April the 10th, April 2010. It's not up to date.
Mm-hmm. So you've kept track of where all your...
No, but I have after a while I started keeping track.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So it's up, this is, the collections I'm in are up to 123, but that's out of 10 years out of date.
Wow.
And the collections, all right, that's a more up-to-date list. And this is just my chronology of religions, beginning with the oldest religion, which is Hinduism, and coming right on through to inerrancy. You know what inerrancy is?
No, I don't know.
They're the fundamentalists today who build a big God dome up here, which they've now sold away for us, you know.
Oh, that first assembly.
But you know what an inerrancy religion is?
No.
They believe literally in every word in the Bible.
Oh.
If it said in one book, John killed Mary, and it says in the next book, Mary killed John, it's all true, because it's God's word.
Oh.
It's inerrant. There's no errancy.
Oh, I see. Inerrant. Without.
That's right.
Without errors.
Yeah. So I've been fascinated with where religions come from and how they develop. See, monotheisms. The first one was Jewish, and then Hindu, and then Buddhism, then Confucianism, the Catholicism, and so forth. Protestant churches in order of founding. The first Protestant church is a Moravian church, the oldest, 75 years ahead of Luther. It's very important for me to rank everything.
Yes.
So, greatly gifted people I've known, this is another update. So as I'm going through the book, I bring it up to date, you see. Celebrity count, these are celebrities I've known. Billy Graham, Johnny Ray, Stuart Mott, James Webb, Steve Martin, Jonathan Winters, Sandra Day O'Connor, Chief Justice Rehnquist, Lady Bird Johnson, Gerald Ford, Betty Ford. Mr. Jiggs, I bet you don't know who he is.
I don't know Mr. Jiggs.
He was the chimpanzee that we brought here.
Oh, that's right.
Robert Hughes, John Fowles, Andy Griffith, James Dickey. I know all these people.
Oh,
Maya Angelou, Joe Hirshhorn, Joe King, Doug Sosnick, Rosemary Harris, Bob Jones, the Bob Jones University.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And then this is the second poem I wrote.
Wow.
White snow crested on Venuses, black cannabis standing by. Chopin, E-flat major nocturne on the music rack. Chopin's Sand in my mind and emotions. President Obama in my emotions. The Balance. Birdie, age 16. So this was 10 years ago. Taylor, Kevin, NBB, 3 Bragg's painting. That was the show I gave him. 50 million Americans hungry. 55 gives 55. And I don't know what that meant, 35. Fear rampant for 30,000 years. Nancy is here today. That's 2 years after she died. I don't know what that is. I didn't figure that out. And these are the participants, the swell participants in the Renola House program, the 30 years I was there, in alphabetical order. Oh. Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing.
I think it's fascinating.
That is fascinating.
I mean, everybody. that came that was important. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I break down the world's population. It's now, since I wrote this, it's over 7.5. It's gone up a billion. 6.5 billion. Half of them unchurched. Half of them churched. Monotheism is by date of origin. Protestant brands. That's very interesting to think about. This is seminal music sites of organs. This is in Winston-Salem only. There's 16 great organs here.
Oh, my goodness.
And I used to take tours of that. And this is post-World War II. First Arts Council, Wake Forest University moved here, so forth and so on. See?
Jeez.
This is a very interesting little chapter. This is on Native Americans, Indians of North Carolina, 40,000 years ago forward.
Wow.
When they started, Indians wore few clothes, improper table manners, immoral. This is what we saw them as.
Right.
They were tawny in color, and they used paint, burnt cork, and they were suntanned. That's what made them look darker than they really were.
Mm-hmm.
And then, this is a little known fact in the teaching of history. Roman Jews came to America in 850 A.D. at the time of Charlemagne.
Huh.
850 A.D. in papyrus boats, 500 to a boat.
Oh, my God.
With animals.
In papyrus boats.
They plucked their faces of hair. They mashed heads with bags of sand for beauty. In other words, when kids were born, they mashed their heads to shape them the way they like this elongated head and not the round head.
Whoa.
There's a difference between cultural manifestations and biological, often confused by the first Europeans who came to America. Indians had no idea of monotheism. They governed themselves through open councils. They arrived at decisions by consensus, male and female.
Wow.
They were not segregated. Their religion and ethical systems condemned acquisitiveness. They did not. When they were buried, they buried them with a cartouche and a string of beads. That's all they had. Everything else belonged to the community. Mm-hmm. They were real communitarians. Anyway, it's fascinating. This is a fascinating book. And I incorporated that in my chronology of man and the arts now is about 100 pages long. But anyway. And then this goes through the various. Christopher Columbus was a Spanish Jew. You know that?
No.
And his brother was burned at the stake for being a Jew. But I mean, that's not right. He's an Italian Jew. But he was taken up by Isabella, the Queen of Spain, and she's the one that sent him on his way.
Look at all those chapters.
This is a seminar I taught at the Centenary Church. The fruition of Winston-Salem since 2012 as a city of the arts. 7 years ago I taught this. The challenge and benefit of the seminar. The philosophy. History is everything. Everything relates. History is a point of view. The key question then is, whose point of view? And the most key question, what is your point of view? That's what we're getting at. Mm-hmm. This was the syllabus for that course. And it was a hell of a course. This is the way I do correlations. Margaret Fuller was an amazing feminist. Emily Dickinson was our first-rate female poet. And then there's Emily Wilson. Or you can do Chopin, Clifton Matthews, Margaret Sandrester, Kenneth, and so forth.
Wow.
And then Whistler and Joe King makes a great correlation. Mary Cassatt and Ann Shields. Trying to do people in history with our local Ann Shields lived here. Just giving them ideas.
Yeah.
And that's the bibliography.
Did you get this out when Patrick was here?
No, I didn't think about it. I mean, it was so much
Sure, you were taking so much. Yeah, I get it.
All right, that's the day. This is the daily schedule for that course, and we use McCullough's great book, Medicine and Science from Paris to Tony Atala, painting from Europe to Renola, sculpture, Seeker, so forth and so on. Literary, Penny Niven, John Ely. Music, Watson Hall, Clifton, so forth.
Yeah.
Who is the embodiment of this heritage in fruition, Winston-Salem? What is the embodiment of this heritage? Museum of Man, Salem College, Wake Forest, Anyway.
Boy, so many memories must just flood in.
It just keeps coming up.
Yeah.
All right, so then, that's quite a story.
That is.
This is the Jan term at Salem College in 2011. What is art? What is great art? Where can we discover great art?
Wow.
And these are the resources. You're talking about lesson plans.
Yes. And those were weekly? Or was it?
Twice a week.
Twice a week?
E pluribus unum. From many one. It's on the Great Seal of the United States and on this Great Seal of North Carolina. This is in the line of a reflection. I love statistics. Christians, total Roman and Orthodox, 1,260,000,000. Christian Protestant, 590 million, of which 170 million in North America, so forth. Muslim, 1.5. Hindu, 640 million.
Wow.
I love the height of domes.
Mm-hmm.
So the Pantheon, this is the height, this is the size. Pantheon is 140 feet high and 140 feet in diameter. The oculus is 40 feet. You know what the oculus is?
Mm-mm.
The dome goes up, and in the middle there's a hole.
Okay.
That's the oculus.
Which is
oculus
eye.
means eye to heaven.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
So it's 140 across, 140 up, and 40 across the oculus.
Wow.
The church downtown that copied that, that's a takeoff of that, the Baptist church, will fit under this dome. The entire church will go inside of that. Because the top of that cross on the church downtown is 140 feet.
Oh, really?
Isn't that fun?
That's fun.
Then you have Hagia Sophia, which I've seen in Istanbul. That's 184 feet. St. Peter's is the tallest dome in the world, 400 feet. That's your church. The Taj Mahal is 187. St. Paul's in London is 218. The United States Capitol is 188. The Washington Monument's 555 feet, 2 inches. Don't I know a lot of junk?
You know a lot. There's a lot of tidbits in here.
And this is churches and other buildings in Winston-Salem that are important.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. Down to the UNCSA library. And we have a new one there. Winston-Salem Downtown Library. I love that building.
Have you been inside?
Oh, yeah.
That's where I do a lot of my work.
I love it. It's a marvelous. Now, here are the facts. This is by age. By height, St. Peter's is the tallest, the Taj Mahal is second, St. Paul's, London is third, the United States Capitol is fourth, the Hagia Sophia is fifth, and the Pantheon is sixth in the height of domes.
Wow.
And of course, first we had post and lintel. That's what this, no. And then we put a gable. Then they found out how to make an arch, and the arch becomes the dome. That's the evolution of architecture. Steeple. Do you know what a steeplechase is?
That's a race, isn't it?
But why they call it steeplechase?
I don't know.
Because they rode horses through the English countryside, and they measured the races from hamlet to hamlet, this steeple to that steeple to that steeple. So they chased the fox through 3 steeples, steeplechase. Ralph Adams Cramp. And this is the new book on cramp that I just bought. He's the guy that did St. Paul's Church and St. John the Divine. On aesthetics, this is about the rear end of automobiles. This is,
the rear end of automobiles?
I've been hung up with that. I'm hung up with rear ends.
Yeah.
And the rear end of automobiles is no exception. And these are some of my great quotes that I remember. Cyclone said of my art, it shows great classical constraint. He also said, be brave. Everything relates. History is everything. A man's religion is what interests him most. Therefore, if you see him playing golf every day, one assumes golf is his religion. I love that. It's so true.